Carney wouldn't dare. Brexiteers vindicated as BoE boss orders crackdown on EU bullies. Britain's top banker has urged financial chiefs to resist very firmly EU attempts to lure lucrative trade from the City of London. Bank of England boss Andrew Bailey branded Brussels' tactics very controversial and warned they were of dubious legality. Brexiteers have welcomed Mr. Bailey's tough stance and took a swipe at his predecessor at the Bank of England, Mark Carney. The Leave.EU campaign tweeted, "Words you would have never ever heard EU-loving Mark Carney say, that EU is about to show its true colours again with a bloodthirsty raid on the City of London's thriving clearing business. That EU wants to force financial institutions to stop clearing derivatives in the City of London, which continues to dominate derivatives clearing in euros despite Britain's departure from the bloc last December. Clearinghouses perform the vital function of ensuring trillions of pounds worth of transactions are made safely, and London's market is worth £658 trillion. Brussels is now drawing up plans to ensure the euro-dominated business takes place in the EU, despite severe doubts it has the infrastructure or capacity to do so within its scattered network of smaller financial centres such as Dublin, Paris and Frankfurt. A deal that recognises Britain's clearing standards are equivalent to the EU's expires in June 2022, after which Brussels can remove equivalents and bring over the business. Such a move would see 25% of trade move from London, but Brussels bosses have made it clear they also have their sights on the remaining 75%. Mr. Bailey told the Commons Treasury Select Committee that EU would be unhappy with just a quarter of the city's business. He said, "The efficiency really comes from having a very big pool of derivatives that can be netted and cleared down. By splitting that pool up, the whole process becomes less efficient, and having the smaller part of the pool is even less efficient." And he warned Brussels was planning aggressive new rules which would see financial institutions operating in Britain faced with extraterritorial legislation and penalties, obliging them to move across the channel. He said, "To get that by fiat would require something very controversial, such as an attempt at extraterritorial legislation, or an attempt to force or cajole banks and dealers to say there will be some other penalty for you unless you move this clearing activity into the Eurozone. Quite bluntly, that would be highly controversial, and it would be something we would have to and want to resist very firmly." City of London chiefs have already warned Brussels is gaining the upper hand in negotiations over the amount of access the square mile will be given to the European market, with one expert claiming he sees no likelihood of an equivalence deal. The UK has yet to be granted the equivalence status on financial services regulation that would free up trade, because the EU says it needs more information about Britain's intentions to diverge from the bloc's rules.